We have been doing a wretched job of caring for the garden we've been set in. We're polluting it. We're using up resources that are meant to be present and available for all of creation and not just the human part of it that exists today. We're abusing the environment that we have been given. We are prompting changes at a rate that is beyond imagining in the geologic timescale. Geologists are beginning to call the era in which we live the Anthropocene, that which is defined by human activity. We're raising the temperature on this planet in ways that have the potential to end the lives of a vast number of species at a rate that is beyond imagining geologically. We're in danger of destroying the fabric that supports life on this planet.
What we saw in previous generations that may be regional environmental degradations because of industrialization, now all these things have taken on a global scale.
We're paying a lot of attention at the moment to issues of climate change. The effects of climate change fall first and most heavily on the poorest human beings, on the parts of the human family who are least able to respond to the changes that are happening. People who live on coastlines, the effects of Katrina and Sandy in the last few years have shown people what's likely to happen in increasing frequency. Floods on the plains of Bangladesh impact people with no place else to go. The rising sea level is impacting people in the South Pacific. Tuvalu and Kiribati are already negotiating for places to move the people who live there because those islands will not exist as above sea places to live for very long. It's not just the human part of creation that's being affected. Species are being extinguished. Extinction is happening at increasing rates because species cannot migrate quickly enough to find suitable habitats given the change in temperature on this planet.
Well, we've got a population that's out of control right now. I mean, the world is overwhelmed. The capacity for the land and the water to actually sustain all the people that are born or living these days is pretty much overwhelming. We have localized pollution that is occurring throughout the world. And we have biodiversity loss. We are losing species at an unprecedented rate. And to add to that, or as part of all of it, is we have climate change.
If I had to pick one or two issues that seem most pressing to me, they would probably have to do with trash and disposable culture and short-term thinking. In both of those areas, we have sought things that are good in the short term and things that are good here. But I fear we've been apathetic to what happens in the future and what happens far away.
Augustine says that we are constantly trying to fill a God-shaped hole in our hearts with things, and it never works, and we are left with a dull ache of desire until we finally put the proper puzzle piece into the hole in our hearts, and that puzzle piece is shaped with the wings of a dove. When we have God in our lives, we are not afraid of our future. We are not afraid of lack. We know that we are loved, and we can begin to step back from a desire to hoard and control. And we are invited into that role of steward, that role of sharing.
The House of Bishops in 2011 issued a pastoral teaching, and they called upon Episcopalians to speak and act on behalf of all of God's creation. And I think now is the time. Now is the time for us as Christians to stand up and say, we have been destroying and we have been ruining God's beloved earth. And now is the time to make a difference. Now is the time to join together.